Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed your nice long weekend. Happy Monday. I'm sorry I'm not in today. I have a sick Owen, so he's not able to go to school. And when you're 5 years old, you kind of need an adult to stay with you. So I'm home with him today. So thank you in advance for all your hard work and your help with the guest teacher as you guys are taking care of business today. I wanted to let everyone know that you're having an assessment later this week. This assessment is the summative assessment for our algebra unit. The assessment's going to be on Wednesday afternoon for Rossler and Leslie homerooms, Thursday morning for Probst and Owens homerooms, and Friday morning for the Lincecum Smith homerooms. They're so spread out over so many days because on Thursday we're having our next STEAM choice afternoon. And so we won't have any core classes on that afternoon. So there are a few things you can do to get ready for the assessment and to continue practicing those skills so you are ready when it's your turn to take it. One of the first things you can do is to study the fractions summative assessment review. You're going to be getting this sheet in just a few minutes. On this review sheet, it has at the very top who will be taking the test when, and then it goes right into what are the learning targets that are going to be assessed on this assessment. So the first one is to generate and solve word problems, including multiplicative comparison problems. So that includes reading a word problem and then writing an equation for it before solving it. The emphasis, of course, is on the multiplicative comparison problems. And in those problems, it's really important that you write the equation using multiplication. Often we use division to solve those problems, but we are looking for you to be able to directly represent the problem in an equation using multiplication. You're also going to be asked to use estimation and mental math to explain if an answer is reasonable or makes sense. You're going to be asked to identify and extend patterns and explain the rule that describes or helps you predict another number in the sequence of the pattern. You'll be asked to use order of operations to simplify an expression and generate ordered pairs and graph two equations, just like what we're doing with our infographic. Now, there's a sampling of questions that are going to be on these tests. And there's really only one or two questions that fit with each of the learning targets. So keep in mind that the test is going to be longer than this, and that there'll be a couple questions, sometimes 3 or 4, for each one of the learning targets that we're working on. You don't have to take these home and bring them back to turn in for your next math time, but we do recommend you take it home and you solve the problems to see whether you have any questions or not. That way you can ask questions during your next math time, which will be before the math assessment. And then down on the bottom, it says, in addition, students will be asked to show their thinking in more than one way, and we've been doing that all year. You might use a visual model or a number sentence as 2 different ways to show your thinking. You'll also be asked to describe your thinking or reasoning using words. So in addition to completing this algebra summative assessment review, and we do want you to take that home and show your parents, there's another copy posted on our Level 3 website under the math section if you happen to forget this one at school. You can also study the skills check-in that will be handed back today. These are the little pre-assessments that we took on Fridays to determine what learning module you would be working in or to start your work for the next week. These don't have check marks or +1s on them. They were just sorted into piles depending on where you were at for your next set of skills. But you can take them home and solve them and check your work, and you can use those online learning modules as a resource to help you through the skills check-ins. Keep in mind that some of the skills on the skills check-in were actually learning targets that extend beyond our younger or older learning targets, so you may not be responsible for all of that on the assessment. There will be an opportunity on the assessment to earn a 4 through a logical thinking extension problem. You can also keep working on those online learning modules in IA and at home to continue to work on the skills that you're going to be assessed on. And finally, work on that purple pie slice of your Alex pie. That pie slice should be just about finished by the end of this unit. So your schedule for today is that you guys are going to work on your infographic. You'll be able to work on that with your partner, the same partner that you've been working with. And you'll need that chart that had the list of the prices for each one of your companies on each side of the sheet. On one side of the sheet, it had like month number 1, number 2, number 3, and then you told the price for that month and the total price that you would have paid so far for that pay-for-service plan. Went all the way down, and then it had month number 24, and it had the nth month. And you should have that expression written for both of those companies before you go online and work on the infographic. Everything you need to create that infographic is in BB9 in the design brief folder. Keep in mind that there are some specific things you need to include on that infographic. And I also have a video created on how to use Infogram to create the infographic. After you've had some time to work on your infographics, that we'll have a mini lesson, which will be another video that's going to show you guys how to put your infographic in your STEMfolio. And then you'll have a little more time to work on the infographic, or if it's finished, to get it in your STEMfolio. And then at the end of class, like usual, we have our online learning modules. If you're finished with all the modules that are on BB9, then work on your Alex purple pie slice. Again, that's the goal, is to fill up that purple pie slice by the end of this unit. So thank you for your help today. I am planning on being back tomorrow, and I look forward to seeing everyone then.